What's up, everybody at home? Welcome to the season 3 finale of Izinja zeGames podcast, proudly brought to you by MTN FC. And my name is just Adlala Feti, as usual. You know, I mean, the one and only. Our guest today is one of the best, most underrated, in my opinion, number 10s in the country. We all know, quiet, he never spoke a lot, but he did the job on the field. He was that type of player for me. I played with him at Sundowns. He won 3 league titles with 2 different teams. Played for Sundowns, played for SuperSport, scored a winning goal in the top 8 finale in 2007. You'll tell me what team is that. And also, he's a product of the one and only School of Excellence. And also played for the great Cheaper United. Product of Ajax as well. Cape Town, that obviously was associated with Ajax Amsterdam. I want him to tell me the stories if he actually went to go trial as well for Amsterdam, when he was with Cape Town. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brent, the locksmith, Carelse. I call him the locksmith because they don't make them like him anymore. Those number 10s that were, if a team needed to win, you gave him the ball. He unlocked that solid defense. He made things happen for the team. They don't make them like him anymore. Welcome, Tonas.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Thanks for the great intro and welcome, and for the invite to your podcast. Brilliant to be here.
Thank you, Jack. How you been, bro? How you been? Last time I saw you, it was 15 years ago?
Yeah, I'm. You know me. I'm a quiet guy, so I think I've been on early retirement for a very long time.
Yeah.
But I've been good. I've been in Cape Town. I've just moved up to Joburg, so yeah, I want to be based here now for a few years. Yeah.
Cape Town people hate Joburg, bro. Why did you decide to come here?
I'm a Joburg boy originally, obviously. Born and bred in Westbury.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's more opportunity here. Football is obviously bigger here. We're only going to have, maybe 1 or 2 teams in Cape Town.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that, bro. So bad, bro. Cape Town FC, going for the playoffs. You know that they're complaining, they went to court. I don't know what they're complaining about. But they go into the playoffs. Ajax is gone. The team that, built you. I wouldn't say they built you. The team that obviously, you did so well with when you're in Cape Town. Hellenic is no longer there. What's the other team?
Santos.
Santos is gone. What's going on with football in Cape Town, bro?
It's crazy. The amount of talent there is there, firstly. Because even if you look at some of the Johannesburg teams, most of them are dominated by Western Cape players. Sundowns now, for instance, has 4 or 5. They're going to have another one probably coming. So the amount of talent doesn't sort of add up to why the teams are going down. So it's obviously decisions that are made on the top, that affect the performance on the pitch, I think. Because, it's been crazy. Every year almost, or every second year, one of our teams get sort of kicked out or whatever. But look, I think Cape Town City can survive the season, but let's see.
Hey, Baba, let's see second division. Those second division teams, you know what I mean? Those boys are hungry. And especially when they see a Brent Carelse coming on the field, they want to prove a point. There's hungry players that have gone through so much. When they go out there, it's a totally different ball game.
Yeah.
We think it's easy, but once you go down there, you see with Jomo and
Santos was the same.
Santos now. Is Santos or what? Santos that just got relegated now? Or is it
they apparently were also in the relegation zone of the ABC. But Cape Town Spurs is just
Cape Town. Yes, you see how hard it is,
and it's been tough for them. Yeah, so the decisions that are made probably on the top are affecting because the talent is there. I think there was some good coaches, Eric, Steve Barker, and obviously you can carry on and name the others, but it's been.
Oh, the Stellenbosch is the only one that survived.
Yeah, Stellenbosch, but they're on another level.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Is it the Ruperts, bro? That's taking out,
I think
taking out all that money.
No, definitely. I think if you've got support, for instance, that's I think the biggest thing. If you've got resources as a club, so if you look at Stellenbosch, they train where the Springboks train, where the Sevens Rugby, they've got that facility, so that's already a plus.
Yeah.
They're on international level in terms of their sports science and all of that. So, and if you look, even the talent that they're getting is new talent. It's, Stellenbosch, the community of the Winelands is very small, very tiny. And for them to be producing players so quickly from that area is amazing.
At the right age.
Yeah.
I mean, you see a lot of boys being promoted at 18,
yes,
19, playing the Premier League, which is the right age. I mean,
yes.
we hear people, like now in South Africa, you hear people that are 25 and say he's still a youngster. You at 25, bro, you played like you're already on your 7th season. You know what I mean? And like Stellenbosch is bringing back to where it started with you guys. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. And what Steve is doing there, it's the same thing that he used to do when he was in Pretoria.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can see now Tux is not the same since he left. And I mean, what is it about that coach? Do you know him personally as a coach?
Yeah, I know. I've obviously met with him and spoken to him a lot of times. And it's what I think a lot of coaches say, but they're very scared to do. Because age doesn't, once you get to senior level, you don't produce an ID anymore.
Yeah.
There's no under 17, under 15.
Yeah.
Everybody is an adult.
Same,
Yeah. But he gives them a chance. If they're good enough, he gives them a chance. And the more you give a youngster a chance, the more confident he gets. I think we started at 17. So if you started that young, if you play probably 10, 15 games, so you're halfway into the season, you already think, look, I'm unstoppable.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to stop me now. Yeah. And you carry on like that. But if 25 is a bit, jeez. Even if you ask club owners or coaches now, do they want to play this 25? They're like, no. Nah. Under 23 maybe.
Yeah.
They'll take.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good for the country. I think even with the national team, it shows,
How was your experience? But how has your experience been? I know like you started at a young age, 20 years, you just being in this bubble, being protected by football as a whole. And then boom, it just spits you out.
Yeah.
You're out there on your own. How did you deal with that, bro?
Yeah, for me, it was very difficult, because to be honest with you, for me, it started obviously at a young age already, 10, when I was obviously at the soccer school. So you get developed to become a professional, and then you play or you do what you were sort of developed for. You get a club at a young age, you start playing at a young age, you earn some good money, and then all of a sudden, it's gone. You don't even get sort of integrated into other stuff in football. So for me, it was a bit difficult, but I always wanted to coach in the amateur ranks.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Grassroots. So
it's always been like that since you were...
Always been like that. Yeah. So I ran a few programs, like even the Real Madrid Foundation. I ran a program for them in Outby, in Cape Town, because obviously there's sort of 3 different communities there. You have the rich, affluent white community, then you have the colored and the black communities living like together. So to integrate that at the international school was brilliant. So I always wanted to be in the cross, because professional football, there's a lot of politics and, a lot of other things that go with it, which people don't realize.
Yeah.
But
you don't want to talk about it, like it's just crazy. And like, that's what a lot of people think. Like they think football is just easy, bro. They think it's easy. And I think we just took out our frustrations on the field.
Yeah.
But what we like, went through, like, behind closed doors, people don't realize it. There was a lot of, like, broken hearts that a lot of football players, hence they did what they did on the field. Yeah,
and that's why a lot of them are also bitter. Not necessarily bitter, but they don't want to even be involved in the game. That most of them don't even watch football, local football anymore.
Yeah.
But I also retired very early. I could have played on, but I was at the wrong club, and when you get older, and because of your where you come from, what teams you played for, so some of the management feel intimidated by you. And if you're somebody who's like a rebel like I am, and you don't keep quiet, it becomes even a bigger problem.
You hardly spoke. You hardly you're a quiet person. But if something was wrong, you stand up, right? No. You think most South African, unlike European, players, senior players, they will stand up for the team. They will stand up for the young ones. If the coach is wrong, they'll stand up and be like, no, coach, you're wrong. And he'll still be played. You think the mentality of South African, coaches or management is more, it's like principal, man. It's like once you start talking, they're like,
you can't question them, obviously, I think most of the time now. But for us, I think when we were playing, I think even the coaches, they knew that, look, we're all part of one team here. So if somebody has an opinion or thinks he can do or provide something that's going to help the team, they'll allow you to.
course.
But nowadays, I think it's even nobody says anything. So,
As long as I play.
so long as I play, so long as I get my salary,
Yeah.
and forgetting that you're actually a team. I
got
remember
power.
we did it. We did it once at Sundowns, where the coach said, "Look, brah, you came late. You under the influence. You're not training."
Yes.
And we all said, "But coach, he's part of the team. He
And
has to train."
Yeah. We talk just in there. We're talking about Lerato, Lerato Chabang. What a player! Like, we didn't like the lifestyle,
obviously,
but we knew once he steps on the field, he did the job.
Yeah.
And as a team, we knew that we needed him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, fix your life. We need you to play, but coach, you can't treat him like that. You see, that's a team.
Yeah.
We're standing together. The now generations, like, just that doesn't play, they all laugh at you.
Yeah.
Forgetting that, 7 months later, it's gonna happen to you.
Yeah, and you can see it with how many players get sort of fired. Not fired, but released. And the amount of new players that come into the system all the time when you actually, it's ridiculous. So some players play 2-3 seasons and then they're jobless for a year or 2 years, and then they come back and they come into the NFD and then they must start all over. So it's different, a little bit different to when we were there. But I just think today the players they're being used. For me, I think that's the best thing I can say.
So we like chewing gum. They spit us out once the
and take the next one.
And take the next one. So so when you look at Ntwana, so we can say if you see a player that plays for 2 seasons at the highest level.
Yeah.
That's an achievement now in today's game.
Just getting the tracksuit.
Hi, man. This 20 years ago, bruh. Not now. These boys are getting paid a lot of money, bruh. These boys, they start I hear these boys, I don't know how true that is. Probably on a 200,000 mark a month.
I think that's a few. Let me say a few. The average is not what it should be, just. You know this. Even when we were playing, we weren't earning the money we should be earning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a few, Sundowns obviously pay well and a few of the other clubs, but I think it needs to increase because there's clubs in the NFD and obviously some other clubs in the PSL that don't pay the players really well.
Some of them about 2,000, 3,000, 4,000
still today. We see it in the media and it's still there. So, so that's if I was still playing, that's the thing I would be advocating for. I'd be saying pay us more, man.
Yeah.
Even look, the stands also. When we were playing, the stands were always full. At least you'll get 10, 15,000 people in watching the game.
Stadium, yeah.
Obviously, TV and other stuff have come in, but I think the clubs need to do more and pay the players better.
I know you're coaching now, Ntwanas. You did say, since you were playing, you could see yourself as a coach once you're done with football. Who you dealing with? Who you coaching?
So we based more out of the schools. So I'm more in grassroots football, youth football. I love it there.
Mm-hmm.
So we ran the football project. So we used to be a scouting platform. It still is. So we would go around the country actually and look for players, talent identification, find players, and then obviously see if we can bring them all together, give them more specific training or special training.
Yeah.
So a high performance program. We do it for a week, and in that week we'll play against some of the pro development clubs.
Yeah.
And those boys might get signed. So that's what we do.
Oh yeah.
But not only that, we stay in touch with them and obviously continue their training. You know? But now we're based out of a school.
Yeah.
So we do the same with the school kids. We offer more programs at the school. So the kids that want to sort of improve their football or get to a good standard, we help them out. And it's been good.
Which school is this that you're dealing with, bro? I'm giving you a platform. Which school is this? And
we're now at Redham Waterfall. In Midrand. Look, I think football has changed, in especially at that level, sort of youth level. I think normally before everybody will go into the underprivileged communities and spot talent.
Mm-hmm.
But I think talent's always been everywhere. So even in the affluent areas, Those boys want to play football.
Mm.
The white boys want to play football. The Indian boys want to play football. So why are we not offering them that? So that's what we do.
They're all kids. It doesn't matter.
And I think the country, if you look even at PSL clubs, they know that. They know that. Look, we have to. We can't just be, predominantly black. And some of the Cape Town teams predominantly colored. You have to,
mix it up.
We all play football.
Yeah. If you're good, you're good.
And they always ask the question, why isn't there enough white players? Why isn't there enough Indian players? It's because they feel like they're being left out. So we catch them when they're still young, at school.
Yeah.
And that's where they are also most of the time.
What, pushed you to, liking football from Ntwana Yakasi, Yako Espiri, and staying away from everything? And who were the people that you looked up to?
Yeah.
Growing up as a youngie?
Yeah, I think it's definitely, like you said, it's a very, a lot of crime in that, a lot of wrong influences. But we always played in the street. We always played, yes, you look over your shoulder, but we were always in the street playing football,
Yeah.
And I think we used to play at school, play after school, play right through the day. So I think that's where it started, obviously. And then as I grew older, I heard that my father played as well. So, he was a reference. The people would tell me, he'd never say anything to me. He'd be there supporting me, but I'd never know anything. And then other people would tell me, look, your dad also played Spurs. He went to England, all of these things.
No, dog.
So
what? Who's your dad? What's his name? Is it
Tagi? They call him
I couldn't pronounce that name, bro. What's
Tagi? They call him
Tagi. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
What's big about Vela?
Yeah, no, it was obviously they played in, I think, the Federation League. Yeah, that's what it was called when it was still colored, black, white, and all of that. So yeah, he played there. He was actually Sheikh Mashaba's coach as well. So yeah, and he won quite a few titles as player coach as well in that league. But he was very talented. So football and table tennis. So table tennis, he played for Western Province. And I remember one year he decided not to play for the football team and he went to go play table tennis. Table tennis won. The football team didn't do
it. England,
yeah. Now he went, I think, 70s. Yeah. And then Leeds wanted to sign him. Quite a few teams wanted to sign him, but obviously they found out that he's not the right. He looked white, but he's not the right color scheme. So he had to come back. He was the he wasn't supposed to be there, basically.
So he just couldn't get a contract because he was not white?
Yeah, and he went over actually to do his badges. So my dad, I think he got his FA badge when he was 21 already. So he knew, obviously, let me go and get my badges. He actually did his course with Frank Lord.
Who's that?
Frank Lord was one of Cape Town Spurs' coaches.
Yeah.
He's an Englishman that came to South Africa.
No way.
Coach Spurs, Coach Hellenic, I think also.
So this knowledge comes from deep, or the coaching, whatever. You want to be a coach.
Yeah.
So it's something that you took from Paps.
Yeah, no, sports, like in our family, sports is crazy. My mom also obviously SA champ in tennis.
Yeah.
So Western Province tennis champ as well.
Williams.
Yes. So it's a sporting family. Very sporting family. And holidays for me was going on tour with either or. School.
No way. So cheese boy muswen.
No. My mother was a teacher and obviously my father's a coach. So if the team plays away or the school goes on tour, I would be on the bus.
So you had mentors just mopila when you didn't have to go look out anyway. You had people that were professionals.
So one of the teams my dad had to take was Stan and Fredericks, Junaid Otley. What's his name? Because they were all at CJB High School.
Okay.
So that was my mom's soccer team. And then 1 year they went to a tournament and my mom said, you're going to have to coach the team because I have to go with the netball girls. So my dad that's when I saw them.
Hold up, tell me about that, bro.
And that's the team that got chosen for the under-20, the Sheikhs Mashaba's team. So they got chosen from that inter-provincial tournament.
What, 50% of that team?
Yeah, so from Southern Transvaal, I think. Yeah, Southern Transvaal, it was Stiga, Junaid. I can't get to his name now, man.
Is that guy? Money Eyes.
Yeah, I just can't get to his name now.
Money Eyes.
Yeah, hold up. From my area,
Hold up, bro. Tell me about those. Bruh, who was better? Money Eyes,
Yeah,
Stanton, or Junaid? Like as a young growing up, like who was the
Money
best?
Eyes was on another level.
Are you serious, bro?
He was Shakes' sort of starter in under 17. I remember we used to go and watch. I was at the school at the time, and we used to go watch at Orlando Stadium.
Yeah.
They played that Simba Cup or something. It was called, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And he was the main guy. Money Eyes was the main guy. And obviously later on, I don't know what happened after that, but then obviously Stiga came, Junaid was there. But Money Eyes was on another level.
Yeah, because I hear about it like that boy not dribbling ground to fail. The goalkeeper, he was just something else. And obviously the lifestyle.
Yeah. What you see Yamal doing with people, for him it was natural.
And then he was skinny as well. He had the same type of body, Yamal.
Yeah. Very skinny, very short, but he was quality.
I mean, Tuanas, now you end up in School of Excellence. How did that move come about now as a youngie? You said 10 years.
Yeah.
This guy. What?
Yeah, it was crazy. Out of the blue. Me and my dad was in the car driving in, I think he was dropping me at my coach for amateur football to go to training. And Coach Kevin saw us, Kevin Johnson. He stopped my dad. He said, look, there's trials happening in Alexandra. Brent must come. I'm like, okay.
Coach who?
Coach Kevin Johnson.
What a coach, yeah.
Went, only colored boy there. Only colored boy there.
Alex, what's it about Alex?
Yeah. So, obviously, where I played, there was grass.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
By the way, this guy is a color that can speak Shangan, Venda, Tswana, Zulu. That's my boy here.
And I obviously made it. I went again to the final trial, which is obviously to open up the school. But he didn't tell us that. He didn't tell me or my dad that's what they're doing. I thought it was for the Neil Tovey clinics, because I heard about it. It was happening in Soweto.
Transnet, what Neil Tovey,
Started out of the Chubuko one with Ted Dimitri and Paradise. And then they said, no, look, the country's changing. It's 1994. They're going to build a school for the most talented footballers in the country. And they're going to all go to that school. They're going to get schooling. They're going to get food. They're going to get everything. Nothing. So obviously our parents were like, yes.
You knew going there. They already told you that? Yeah. Or you found out after the trials?
No. Before. At the final trial. Before the final trial. Because it happened at Eastland Park, the final trials. And that was where the school was started. So all these clinics that Neil Tovey was sort of setting up was to attract the best boys. And then start the school. So we started out 1994. And obviously now it's mixed. I think me and Poti was there. The only two. But Poti could speak Zulu already. So that was that's how I learned. So with him and the other guys. And so on and so on. I think Sheppy was there. And Gareth Omsho. So it was 2 white guys, 2 colored guys.
The rest is like 98% double dark.
Yeah, and so you have to sort of learn the language and get to understand. Because they must get to understand us as well. We come from, they think, aggressive.
Colored people are violent. They're a violent nation. That's what growing up we used to hear that you cannot get robbed. Why gunpoint, all those type of things. So that they were scared of you guys. Somehow.
They're not necessarily scared, but obviously we had to learn each other's ways. So it was difficult for some. I know there was one boy that came the following year in 95, also from Cape Town, very good player. And he lasted about a week. He couldn't take it. He cried every day, every night. He missed his family. So
too many black people around him.
No, but not only that, competition. You must know it's like best of the best thrown together. So even on the field, you have to perform every day, every single day. The pressures for me, from my sort of personal, it was from then I was a professional footballer. I had to compete every day to be the best, and obviously
that's how it was. And it was just crazy.
Yeah, and they would tease you, but if you don't make the team,
make the team in what way? So what happened?
We were all good. So, but if you're not doing well, we'll tell you,
kids are mean. So you guys were those kids,
we were those guys. If you're not doing well, we'll tell you, come on, my guy, We don't
Nama,
really
Tuan.
this. Yeah. We had big players in our team.
Who did you?
Ninja, Skilo, there's our Sienki Mutlachwa,
Yeah,
I think you remember.
Yeah.
Lawrence Masakela.
Oh, Skakes.
We had a big team, big players, you know, and most of them played in the national team. And we won everything. I don't think we
Around the world, you traveled the world, you beat everybody where you went.
Everywhere. The teams locally, Bama 14-0, 45, Shaban.
About 10, what 45 lead? No, my guy, Brent. Yeah, I know you guys was like skip. So
no,
you
serious,
guys are
serious.
No and ways.
I think that was my final year at the school, matric year. We were playing KFC. And the KFC Cup was always dominated by the school in Soweto. It's called
Oh, Madibane High.
They
were older than you.
Yeah.
You
know,
they were
older
right?
than us.
But Ben Bashaya.
So they won it the year before, and then the next year, 98. Yeah, we beat them, I think, in the quarters or semis. So
when they went to Peru, they beat you guys. When they qualified for Peru.
And then I think our squad went to Italy. I think they went to Italy for winning the KFC. I didn't go, obviously, because it was my last year.
Yeah, last year.
Skakes were failing matric, were bullying me. So bamfaka ejimini bamtshele ukuthi afail.
Hola. I'm failing. Did they do it purposely with fail or the book and listen to
No,
it was naughty.
No, books weren't this thing.
Yeah, I mean, the footballers. Don't you miss that environment is scale, Antoine? Like school of I mean, what you're talking about is like nobody has ever told me. I've had a lot of school of excellence guys here. And what you telling me, Uti, when now you don't make the first 11, we tease you with it's shy. Well, let's have my eyes lap like so those were the conversations most of the time.
Yeah, competition was rife. We wanted to play, which was strange in a way. But I think that's what made us what we were. We wanted to be the best. I was a striker actually at the school.
Ngale PC yako Brent. PC yako Springbok ka ro champanyana so ngale PC yako striker sinjani. Bosha United twana.
Net. Technique. I was good with my head also,
Yeah.
So I was a striker at the school. But emidleni.
Yeah.
Big no skilo. Andilecele. Funeka Dongolo. Awungeni lapha.
So you like, I don't know, I'll be a striker.
King Tobela. So it was, and I think King went to PSV when I was 16 already. And then when he came back, Mfuneko signed for SuperSport. So it was, we had top players.
Sienki went SuperSport. Sienki went to SuperSport as well.
Yeah.
So most of those players that you had in your team, grade 11, grade 12, all of them turned professional basically.
Yeah. Sean Potgieter, all of them. Most of them. Even about Oscar Mukhaldi. I think he was in Abuskilo.
Yeah.
But we produced, and I think that's why there was more players that played that time because it was new stuff.
Yeah.
I was telling somebody the other day, there's so many more academies that are open now. Even the clubs have their own academies.
Yeah.
But in 1994, that was the only known academy. And fortunately enough, the blueprint that was laid, at least is still producing players. People can say what they want about the school, how it looks. It does look bad.
It's still working.
It does look. I was there a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think Dane also told you. We were there a few years ago and we ran a program there. Yeah, but the paint colors are still the same like when I was there. I was like, geez,
no way.
We haven't painted.
Yeah.
So, but the best thing is they're still producing talent.
Yeah.
Mufukeng, this one.
Mufukeng's from there as well. I didn't know.
Mufukeng, Mabena. All these boys are from the school.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
They'll get signed up by the clubs and the clubs will say, no, we produce them. But
end up at Hellenic. How did that move come about, boy?
Now my dad was tired of me. I was matric. Or like I told you, I was finished with matric. I, unfortunately, wasn't called back to the school like Skakes to play.
No, he failed. You passed. You were the smart one. Sorry, Skakes, but you passed and Skakes had to go and repeat. Short one. Or Pumeskela, did you want to go to varsity? Did you go to varsity or you just after matric you were chill?
I was also just football. I didn't want to school. School wasn't also my thing. I enjoy sort of learning new things, but school was
not your thing. Yeah.
My dad said to me, no, you can't stay here. Because there was teams that I could have gone to, your Swallows and this, but he said to me, look, go to Cape Town. with our sort of, his name's quite big there, quite strong. He'll try and see what he can do.
Okay.
But then I saw in the newspaper that Santos and Hellenic were having trials sort of in the first week for their Colts, for the under 19. So I'm like, I'm going. Going for trial. I'm going.
School of Excellence.
At Santos.
Top player. You went to Santos first?
I went to Santos first. And
failed?
I failed.
Hi, Bob. Such a product failing. Hi, Bob. Okay.
And I was like, jeez.
Yeah.
Am I doing the right thing? I'm not going to have to go get a 9 to 5. What's going on?
As a striker, you go in there as a striker?
Yeah, I went as a striker. But I told him, look, I can play basically any position if you want.
I was skill manje. You can like manje.
Yeah.
I need to imagine.
It's
we know why you couldn't go center midfield because
we knew local football at the time, so we used to watch. We knew this one I can go in. But unfortunately I failed at Santos. Yeah. But in that same week, Hellenic was having trials for the under 19 Colts team, and that team was obviously at the time the biggest in the Western Cape, even in SA. So you had your Shine Bobs, Bradley August, all these players coming from that under 19 Colts. Hellenic used to win the Bale every year.
Okay.
So I was like, geez, if I didn't make it at Santos,
how am I going to do it like that? Yeah.
Well, trialed. I think 15 minutes into the trial, they called me off. I'm like, shit, what did I do now? And then Bernard Atza. So Bernard Shoes, Atza, he's top player also in his time. He said to me, my boy, just go over to that tree there, to that white man that's standing under the tree, wants to speak to you. Was Gavin. And he said to me, I'll see you on Monday at training. Monday. So where, coach?
So Gavin Hunt?
Yes, we're at the under 19 or first team. He said, no, with the first team.
Again, Kevin.
You know?
Jesus, this name keeps on coming. Okay.
Yeah, nobody could look talent. He could spot a mile away. I think he's got that. He's got that eye where he can spot. And so for me, I thought obviously then I got signed by Hellenic. So I played for the under 19 and I trained with the first team at the same time. So that was brilliant. Like 15 minutes of football and that's it.
Just like open up your dreams and whatever.
Now, my dad obviously said to me, now you're on your own, boy. You're gonna earn some money. Some money. A lot of 10 rand notes.
What's only money? What is your first salary, boy? What is your first
The envelope was so thick, Baba.
What's only cash?
Cash. And the payslip is on the envelope. The pali went up.
Mali,
I think it was 350. Yeah, and then it moved like to 750.
Yeah, Baba.
Within 6 months. 350. Within 6 months, he was 750. 350 because they were housing you.
When's that 350, Baba?
You were staying in the academy.
Yeah.
I think Vuyo came
I wanted to ask you that. Yeah, you played with Vuyo there.
Yeah, Vuyo came and he joined the under 15 team.
Yeah.
I remember. And I think I used to stay in the same dorm or same big room as some of those boys. But I was only there for 6 months because they realized, nah, man, we're wasting this guy's time. With this little, he's going to leave. Yes, we need to pay more. So I got increases almost every 6 months.
To what was your first increase? From like 350 to what?
To 750.
Yeah.
Then 1.5 and then 3,000. I think I left Hellenic on 3 or 5.
Joined Ajax?
Yes, but when I joined Ajax, at least I said, boss.
I think I paid 3,000.
And because they bought me.
Yeah.
And even Kevin said to me, Brent, you weren't given back 10 in a man, so you must negotiate.
Yeah. Good, yeah. Because they want you, they could see that you're quality.
And I had a lot of friends there.
Before that, you obviously had a chance to go to Red Star.
No, it was Rapid Vienna in Austria.
Austria.
Ian Garoua, funnily enough. Ian Garoua. Everybody knows him.
Zimbabwe,
He played in Austria and he came down and he said, look, Brent, told Gavin as well, he's inviting a scout to come and watch me and so on. And the scout came to come and watch me and she was on fire. We played Pirates in that week. I scored. We played Ajax Valentine's Day. I scored. And the agent said, or the scout said, look, we're taking this boy. We're going to sign him. Rapid Vienna.
So?
And then Gavin was like, no, he's too young. He's going alone there. He doesn't know what's going on.
Kevin.
I was also a little bit naughty.
No, it doesn't matter, bro.
So
How
he's
old are
like,
you?
Nah.
Like what, 19, 20?
19.
I don't know, he still wanted to use you. Come on. For the first time, I
Obvious.
always hear positive stuff about it, but that's the first wrong thing that I can say. That yo,
No, I
you were
think
wrong about that. Yo.
Obviously, as a coach,
Yeah.
you don't want to lose your good players or your best,
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the main things why I said nah. And he obviously thought maybe I'll get another opportunity he's the coach of the team. He's not gonna want to let me go.
Yeah.
Maybe next season you can go, or the following season,
Then Ajax comes, he says yes.
Yeah.
Red Star
But he
Ajax.
was going. But he was.
Oh, you see? Oh, so like now
So
it's like, okay, I'm going. Yeah, whatever. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Dog. So can you imagine at 19 you got there? Like,
Yeah.
So did you feel like badly done by him? Somehow?
No, not necessarily, because obviously that very same, I think that was the last game I actually played for the next 4 months because I got injured.
Yeah.
I damaged my tendons in my ankle, and it was like cheese, And then I even got called up to the national team during that time, and I couldn't go. They were playing Guinea World Cup qualifier, and that game also got called off, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my story at Hellenic. Played well, did well, 1, 2, 3, and then I was signed by Ajax.
Remember, before you go to Ajax, remember your debut game at Hellenic. Who did you play with?
I played against, sorry, my son, no one. I played against Santos and I scored.
Did you win that game?
No, we went PP top 8. We went to penalties. We lost on penalties, but I scored for Hellenic in that game.
Baphetha bobani mfethu then at Sundowns.
Roger Fetumba, Mambush, Charles Mutloy. I think Kenny Niemek was also there.
That team, yeah.
Tisprin.
Chuku, Rafael Chuku was there.
Yeah.
Yes. Ajax calls you up. Obviously, they just signed up a contract with like Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Like, the whole movement is like producing the youngies.
Yeah.
They want the best in the country.
Yeah.
Like, how did that move, come about it? How was, just being part of that movement?
I was excited when they obviously came knocking on the door. I literally came to the front door, John and somebody else.
Yeah.
My dad obviously was okay. They gave my dad something like some money, and they said, "Look, please try and convince Brent." So I said, "Look, I'm already convinced. You guys are the new kids on the block. You have a partnership with a huge club overseas. I want to be part of that."
Yeah.
And John was always like, "You're the perfect fit for our team. There's your friends, all your friends are there. Brett Evans was there, Dominic Isaacs was there, Stephen just left. But all these guys that
School of Excellence at the school. Yeah.
Because initially that was the deal. Ajax Amsterdam was supposed to sign a partnership with the school.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah. Stephen and him got scouted at the school already. He was sent to Ajax to obviously get a bit of experience, senior football, let me say.
Yeah.
And that's when he left afterwards. So a year of senior football and then he left.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was already 2-3 seasons into professional football. So I was a bit more experienced.
It's like 21 now.
Yeah. 20, 21, I'm now at Ajax. And for Ajax Amsterdam, you're already over the limit in terms of age to sort of attract their interest. But I wanted to be there because of the brand of football they played. Yeah. And also that they give youngsters an opportunity. So
Mphetha left back kunjubani ntwana leyo bekadlala under 23
Brett Evans.
Was it Bradley?
Brett Evans.
Beka kuphi lo besidlala naye ku Sundowns left back yethu
Kanamaya
beka kuphi?
Was left, he gone. I think he played one or two seasons at Ajax. Oh no, he was there.
He was there. I
played the season with him at Ajax and he left and he went to Chiefs. We had Davi. We had quality. Davi, Brett Evans, Edelbert Dinya, Andy Lescaba.
Yes, I remember that.
Quality players.
Yeah, what a team.
Shapey. Yeah.
The coach, who was it?
A coach that was a Dutch guy. I can't remember his name, the first coach. But then Gordon came. Gordon. Why are you laughing?
I'm telling you. How was it working with Gordon, bro?
Gordon is streetwise. That's all I can say. He's like very streetwise.
Yeah.
I think similar to Clive Barker, because I saw Clive Barker when we were at the school also. The national team always used to camp at the school. Similar motivator, very streetwise. Korean is to tell you, hey, if you don't buy the lotto ticket, you're not going to win it. So yeah, but he knew how to win games.
He already won 3 league titles by then.
He knew how to win games, knew how to win leagues. And he did it always with a small team, small squad. And I think it's so that the trust, you need a lot of trust in football, especially if you want to win things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was the coach. I think, was it Wilfred Mugai at that time already? Yeah, Wilfred.
Oh, yes, he was there with you guys. Yeah,
but we had a lot of Dutch influence, obviously, at that club. And Gordon obviously plays a certain way. So our first season with him,
he knows how to pick a win. One thing about him, he knows how to pick a winning team.
Yeah. We almost got relegated the first season he was there. And we were like, I'm sure the club owners were like, hey, did we make that right? Because he comes from Santos winning the league and winning So for him to come from Santos to us, we thought, hey. But the first season was bad. Yeah. Second season, he obviously then got in what he wanted. So Abu Maimani Piri.
The big boys.
Like 3 Congolese players. Yeah. Kanku Mulekela, the guy who played for 2 different countries.
It's crazy, bro.
But we got some good players in, and then we obviously pushed for the league. We came second.
How was that run, bro? Like when you guys came second.
You
guys nearly won it, but you lost it in the last minute.
Yeah, that was with Fopada, and that was the second one. But the first one was a Chiefs. That team we played for. No, man.
Yeah.
The referees were very intimidated.
We are sure to be batting you.
I would batting you. Man, it's mistake like
I'm a fans. Yeah, go ahead.
It's full. So that sort of intimidation. But they were a good team at the time. They deserved it.
6 years.
But we got robbed. Not robbed. I think that year we lost on equal difference.
Yes. I remember you guys had a great run, bro.
Yeah. I think he wanted to pass Atazwani the ball. He saw Brett Evans already sort of going to intercept.
Yeah.
Stopped it with his hand.
No!
When Brett Evans Waishala Papumako at cross goal. Newlands. I don't know what year, I don't remember the date, but I remember that. And they beat us.
The coach there at Dutch is the Dutch coach.
Gordon was the coach. But the second time, obviously we had I was playing with young boys. Bukrim, Serrero, quality players.
You lost it again in the end. What does it? We understand that you were robbed in the Chiefs. And
experience, like mistakes. Hans Fonk made a huge blunder.
Yeah. But as a senior player, the guy has been in the game. The foundation that the guy got growing up. You'd less expect him to do those type of mistakes.
Yeah, Hans was a perfectionist in some way. But it just shows you everybody makes mistakes. He did it at the worst time you can do it. But yeah, we had a good team also. I think the blend of experience, sort of me, Hans, Brett Evans still being there.
Yeah.
One-man club,
Yeah.
And then we mixed it with Serrero, George Marileka, Kama Piliat, these up-and-coming crazy boys.
You just mentioned all these 3. You've got Kama, you've got Maluleka, you've got
Granwell Scott.
Hey, shot. If that team, bro, what is it about those boys? Man? What is pushing them?
I think that old Dutchman, even his background, when we found out, he's the guy who turned Van Nistelrooy from a defender into a striker. He used to coach normally the youth Dutch teams, under 19, under 21. And then I think he also had a stint with the girls team. But he was known for, he first sort of recognizes the players he has or the team he has, gets to know them. And then he decides, okay, this is how I'm going to play. But he was brilliant. A lot of one-on-one meetings with individual players, myself, Serrero especially, because he was the main man. Sometimes he wouldn't even train. He'll have a meeting.
Hold up.
Especially with us, senior players.
So he wouldn't, sometimes senior players don't train, meeting, go home, and train the young ones.
Yeah.
So the player management was on another point.
On another level. I became a cyclist, my friend. I was on the bike almost every day.
Ngangena training.
He said, Brent, you don't take a Ferrari out every day. You only take it out on the weekend. So during the week, do some spinning. We'll have a chat for 30 minutes, a coffee. Then I go home.
Sundowns move. How did that come about?
Gee, that was a funny one.
Utla ko dinkunzini la di abuya la tshwere ntho tse ding tse lore pheta bo prime baloi bo Peter Ndlovu
abo Josta Dlala
bengekho mina
abo khona.
How did that move come about, boy?
It was like 3 weeks going with John up and down in the office because I had to renew my contract at Ajax. My contract was coming to an end, and John knew that I always renew a year before. So he already had the proposal out for me that, Brent, this is what we're going to do. I know what the increase is going to be, look like or whatever. But then Gordon at the time, I think 6 months before that, he already joined Santos. And he's like, Brent, you need to come here. He's like, he phones me every day, Brent, you need to be here. Like, well, speak to Ajax. I've got a year left. They're negotiating to give me a new deal. It looks good, And then I said, well, tell me what you can give me. And they told me, and I'm like, nah, coach. You're giving me less than what Ajax is giving me. Combi. He's like, Brent, don't worry. I said, don't worry. You make more. Just don't worry. I'm like, okay. And I phoned David Caname because he was there. He's like, hey, brah, you need to come. You need to be here. So I was like, but for me as a player and where I come from, that was the next step. I need to go and play for a big team. I need to play for a team where, because Ajax, I was a regular. I was a regular. I was there already in almost 9 seasons. And a lot of the times I was a starter. So
you've never sat on the bench. You've always been that player.
So I felt like, look, I need to challenge myself as well. I want to play maybe for the national team, but I don't think they're going to choose me if I'm here.
You've been there for 6 years already with Ajax. So, yeah.
And he said, look, Brent, you probably might not play, but I guarantee you will sort of knock on the door and get it. But he was true in a sense because Godfrey was there. Godfrey won Player of the Year that year. He was. I think he was 31, 32 at the time.
He was buzzing, bro.
Exactly. He was.
They don't make them like you guys and Godfrey anymore. The true locksmith of the game.
Yeah. So Gordon said, come. I remember we were on the beach training. So I only had a training kit on of Ajax. And I had my toiletry bag with me and a small hand towel. So if I go into the water, I can tram. They took me from there to the airport. My car keys, everything in my toiletry bag. John's like, don't worry, your car can stay at the club. We'll look after it. Straight to the airport. Get off at our Tambo, straight to the PSL office because the time was not on our side. I needed to get to the PSL office before 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Something like that. Jose Ferreira at the time, he was waiting. So that's how the move came about. But Gordon was a big influence on that. And obviously John made some money. So
that's why he pushed you so much. Mtsipe just, He bought a lot. Mr. Mtsipe bought a lot of people out of their contracts.
Yes.
That he used to do that. He was aggressive in what he wanted.
No, I had a year left, or 6 months left. And I think they paid $1 million, I'm not sure. But it was ridiculous because I was going to probably get more money at Ajax. But Gordon said to me, you're not going to make the money you can make. Yeah. So I said, okay. Well, in the first game I played, I realized that. So the more is salary. I think I arrived the Monday when I signed, and then the weekend we were playing Chiefs. Big game, obviously. And Gordon, because I'm like, coach, okay, I'm done signing. Can I go home and fetch my things, my clothes?
Yeah.
It's like, nah, bruh. We're playing the weekend. You can't go. We're playing the weekend. So I said, but coach, I only came in a shorts, t-shirt, and my toiletry bag. It's like, no, speak to Belinda. They'll give you some money to buy things.
Was an assistant by the office, Belinda, by the way. Yeah.
So, okay, they give me money. Like, okay. Then I had to stay in the hotel. I had to stay there. I think I stayed for a month or so. Then I only started getting my things from Cape Town. But that first game was crazy. Obviously, we played Chiefs. And we made all of those passes, remember?
Oh,
that was my
debut. 100 passes. Hey, Chiefs,
and we were short, so I think, but obviously the coach, Gordon knew if I put Brent in, we won't lose the ball.
First game, and then?
So obviously the president was very excited, and he said, well, this is gonna give us 30K. I was like, are you serious?
Bonus.
Looking around, the guys are going crazy.
How much? What? How much? Surprise! How much do you think I should give you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what that changes you, as a player. You think to yourself, I can make some good money here. And if I have guys around me that feel the same or think the same like we did, that's what we did,
Just tell people about just that changing room, bro.
Yeah.
Like compared to now you from Ajax,
Yeah.
Hellenic, now you just come in Sundowns, boom.
Yeah.
Not guaranteed that you're told that you might not play, but you'll make money.
Yeah.
And you knew that, okay, I know you used to play. I mean,
Yeah.
you used to be in the starting 11.
Yeah.
And all that. You took a risk and be like,
Yeah.
6 years I'm done with the Ajax. Let me go now
Yeah.
and see how good am I with this
Yeah.
so-called top players.
Yeah.
That atmosphere just being around
Yeah.
that area. How was that? How was
That's
that
crazy.
transition?
I think the mentality of the players that we had, I think, was sort of the same. We all wanted to be winners. We all wanted to be successful. And I think, like I said before, that's where it starts, the competition. She's just to get into the team was hectic, that, And if you're out, am I going to get back in?
Yeah.
So, we had Brian Baloy, legend. Somebody you look up to, Mike Manzini.
Yeah.
So, and when you see how they are and how hungry they are,
humble as well. They're just humble. Yeah.
And I think the stigma of Cape Town players not doing well in Joburg, that I wanted to change definitely. But I was a Joburg boy, so I knew I wouldn't struggle that much. Obviously, knowing different vernacular languages also helps. But I think the players, how it is at Sundowns. You come your first day, they try and suss you out.
Yeah.
They try and suss you out. Somebody's going to drive the ball to you.
Fair pass. If your first touch is not good. I'm not down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jabulani Mendo talks like everything that he does. Like, let the ball, boy. Yeah, man. Let the ball, Give me the ball. I'll do something,
So,
you get players like that. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So they wanted to try that. And luckily Vuyo was there. Vuyo died and wasted his card saying about again. So, but they invited me, they welcomed me well. And I was excited because I looked up to most of the guys that were there. Some of them I played with them before and I knew what quality they had. And I knew, look, you're coming to a quality team. Just work hard and the rest will follow,
6 months later, we win the league.
Yeah.
Your first league title. Like, what does that do to you, bro?
It's just all the hard work you've been doing over the years. It's a reward. Because you don't want to play your whole career and then you end up not winning anything. Well, then what's the point? Yeah. I always said, like, football, even the 90 minutes, you need to try and win at least or score goals. The aim of the game is to score goals. So try and do that. But I was very happy, very excited. Obviously we made some money again.
You tell the out mangena with the changing room. Ngale prize money. How much?
I think he told the sponsor, bafake imali endlule yakhe. If abayenzi, they're not sponsoring us anymore.
Remember?
I remember.
So MTN is like, no, I'm spending so much. Like this guy's like, no, I'm spending so much money for you guys, and MTN is just giving me peanuts.
Please add, and whatever you're adding, I'll add the same again. So, I think he wanted to reward us because he knew it's not easy sort of career. It's not easy for us as players. Already we sort of need to be a team, but we're also fighting against each other to get into the team because that's how you make more money. I'm not saying the other guys didn't make money. It's just obviously the bonus and that for the guys who are in the squad is more than the guys that are out of the squad. So we all wanted to be in the squad every game.
I mean, the prize money, what did he say about it?
I think we ended up getting triple what we were supposed to get. Because at the time, the league was only 1 million, 1.5.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, that's not enough for my boys, man. I'll
take care of the coach.
I'll give some.
Yeah.
And sponsor MTN.
The coach is supposed to get 20%, remember? He's like, no, keep the money. Yeah. I'll take care of the coach.
I had that issue at SuperSport,
Serious?
Where we we had David from Sundowns, so we brought it up.
We come into that. That's what I'm coaching. That's what I'm coaching. You end up going to SuperSport, the few seasons at Sundowns. Why SuperSport?
You know that man.
Okay.
Kevin Hunt.
Yeah.
I think there's Sundowns obviously wanted Upa Sponiso. I was with him the other day actually. Today is my Spa and Kaseompela. They
Yeah.
wanted the 2 of them.
Yeah.
So Kevin said, no, it's fine, you can take them. I just want him. Just give me Brent and you can take them.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know, the club obviously got money, plus me. And obviously SuperSport won the league that season. And he said to me, look, Brent, I want to win the league again. I said, okay, fine, I'll come. And you'll play. You know, that was the other thing. The other thing was Jose Ferreira was at Sundowns and Imu was at SuperSport.
SuperSport, yo.
So he knew how much I was earning. so you can do the math. He's just gonna give me a little bit more, and I'll be like, I'm going.
Yeah.
You know? So I went, but good move because I won more. You know, I won more league titles. There again also.
This guy,
good team.
Everywhere you go, like when you just a touch of gold.
Yeah. So it was.
How was it working with Hunt, like compared to Gordon?
Yeah, look, it was different this time around because at the beginning I was young. And I was playing more as a striker, you know. He used me a lot as a striker, actually. I used to play with Grant Young and sometimes with Bradley and so and so. But now he saw me playing for Sundowns and he's like, okay, you play in the midfield.
Marvelous to watch.
You know? And when I came to SuperSport, he said, look, I'm going to put you in the midfield. But he's similar to Gordon, you know, very streetwise. He knows South African football very well. Yeah. And yes, he plays a certain way, but that's because he knows that he can win that way. And if he has the players,
direct,
if he has the players for that. So SuperSport, we were just a powerhouse. We used to go into the gym every single day. No team was gonna outpower us or sort of outmuscle us.
So fitness wise, like you guys were like crazy,
physical.
Yeah.
We played.
He's a militant type of coach, eh? In terms of training,
yes. Yeah, I know he's got the kind of military background.
Yeah,
he was in the army. So.
This is crazy, bro. Like how the training.
Yeah, but I understood that about him, you know. I understood that if we physically 100, like, and we've got big boys like your Bonganis, your Morgans, you know, just get the ball into the box. Something will happen.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
But that's football. When you look at Barcelona, they do that. They might try and whatever, but they're still gonna go in the middle.
Yeah.
At the end, they're gonna go out.
Yeah.
You know, so crosses in and they hardly cross.
Yeah.
You know, when they get to the thing about Barcelona and them, they don't cross the ball.
Yeah.
Once they get to the wing, they still wanna come in. And then tap in, those type of things. But football is still like that.
Yeah.
The spaces are always on the side, you know, whatever. And then Gavin, you got, Igesund, Coach Igesund, they understand that football is still the same, regardless of how you guys want to change it, you know.
Yeah. But we had good players, just think late. Belembe, Glenn Salmon, Shane Pochenpo. Shane is amazing.
Back-to-back league titles.
That people don't speak enough about, you know. At the back, obviously, I said Katsa, Morgan, all these players. But he knew how to use us.
All these players that you called out.
Yeah.
Some of them went to Vets. Vets won the league.
Exactly.
Some of them went to Chiefs. Chiefs won the league that they haven't won in a long time. Some of them went to Sundowns, won Champions League and the league.
Yeah.
SuperSport don't get the credit that they deserve.
I didn't even mention some of them. Sompo
Kekana, yeah. Think about it. Sundowns. I mean, this is like, you know, when you look at it, SuperSport don't get the credit.
Yeah. No, they've obviously they've done a lot also for South African football.
Yeah.
And I think your neighbors are poaching from you.
Yeah.
But same way, you know, I went the opposite way. But Gavin was clever there. Because obviously, like I said, they knew what I was on and all of this. So it became easy. And also, strangely enough, my wife at the time, she was in the hospital down the road from Chloorkop.
Yeah.
Giving birth. And he said to me,
yeah,
you need to be at training tomorrow. I'm like, Coach, but my wife's giving birth tomorrow. So I'm going to be at the hospital. He's like, no, you need to be at training. I said, no, I'll come after. Because she was obviously having a C-section.
Of course, yeah. You had to be there. You wanted to be there on the birth of your kids and whatever, yeah.
But when I came, I remember him telling Tommy Marichachi, the late as well, that this is the missing piece.
You were like the locksmith. We had like Dane here. Did you guys do that camp where you guys like were? Go Kapstal, what? Yeah, Baba.
Carrying logs.
You're telling me about that. Didn't you think that this guy is crazy when... Apparently you guys didn't eat for like 24 hours or something.
I used to complain all the time. He used to tell me I'm a wet panty. I complain, I'm like a wet panty. I complain
It's
all the
Kevin.
time. Yeah. So I said, complaints committee, brain. You're always complaining. I said, yeah, but coach, we're not in the army. We're not athletes. We're footballers. Please. I said, no, make you strong. But he knew that that's going to see us through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 2010 World Cup, you're doing so well. You just won the league. For a person that has been in the game for so long and started most of the games that he was set up in front of him. You started most of the games and whatever.
Yeah.
World Cup 2010 is coming through. You don't even get a chance to even go there and try your luck. How did that make you feel, Thomas?
It's strange because I think if I look at even 2-3 years before that, I was at Sundowns. I got a call up when I was at Sundowns.
Yeah.
With Benson. And I know we always used to talk and say about, guys, we need to have more players in the national team.
We didn't. They were surprised.
We dominating, you know. And then now I moved to SuperSport.
Yeah.
Same thing. I'm winning the league. I'm playing every game. I'm thinking, nah. No, but then also, to be fair, I can't say I'm better than so and so. I think
that's cool. Who was playing in your number 10 position? So you had Teko.
Yeah.
Who else?
Teko was more of, you used to play on the side.
On the side, the bait. He was not more direct like you. So there was nobody like you. There was no 10.
Hey.
Think about it. There was no 10 in that squad.
And I think I could have done, something.
Yeah, there was no 10 because there was nobody that played in front of. Because there was this guy, is it Dikasho who was playing center, right?
We played with Dikasho and Sibaya.
So those are solid centers. So they had nobody that was playing in that arc.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I think Rio Van Heerden used to play there. There was quite a few guys that actually used to play there.
But they never played him, Van Heerden, when he came.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So how did that make you feel? Like, I know, it pisses me off most of the time when you did so well. And yes, it's good that other people are getting a chance, but you're like, come on, though.
Yeah,
I should be getting a chance.
I think I should have been given more opportunities. I think they only gave me one opportunity. That was against, I think it was the Mandela Cup.
Canada.
Yeah.
He played against Canada. Yeah.
But then if you look at me when I'm playing locally, I'm not saying the other guys weren't doing well. But if you look at what I'm doing locally,
stats,
my name should be first on the list. I felt that way because I used to score goals. I could defend. I could play. The one season I think we played Platinum Stars and we had to win that game. And I scored the winning goal in that game. And that game sort of made us win the league because now we were in the relaxed mode. But when you have a player like that who has BMT, obviously he needs to be somewhere there.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. It was disappointing, but after a while, when you grow older, you realize.
34 minutes only in Tuanas. One cap, 34 minutes.
Ish.
Crazy, right? But you just had to say whatever.
Not my only call up. That's the thing. I got called up when I was 19 first by Queros, the ex-Manchester
That's when you got injured and then you couldn't make it,
Because he was ranting and raving about me. So, but then, all those years, nothing. Yeah. It was strange. And then I'm playing regularly.
I'm going to tell you something. So what you went through, there's a lot of players like that. And there's a lot of players that were good that never got a call-up or they played 5 caps. And there's people that had 50 caps and crazy.
Yeah.
And I was playing in Denmark and I was doing so well. And then the owner says, dude, what's going on? Why don't you, these people do know what you're doing. You want us to invite them? I'm like, do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't make sense to a lot of, people out there when you have a player and then there's friendly games, international friendly games and whatever, and this person doesn't, get an opportunity. And the owners also sit there and you don't get it. But there's nothing that you can do. If somebody doesn't, if you can't be everybody's favorite person.
Yes.
Probably you didn't fit in their blueprint.
Yeah.
As much they had their, as a coach, it's gotta be, you're a coach.
Yeah.
You have to choose the first 11. Now you understand. Now you understand. You know what I mean?
You can't make everybody happy.
You can't make everybody happy. It doesn't mean you hate the ones that are sitting on the bench, but you're choosing the best that's going to win the game that you think it's going to win the game for you. You know what I mean? It's always like that.
Yeah.
You, as a coach, you know that. You end up going back to Ajax, though. Back-to-back titles, Ajax.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to go back to Ajax? Was it the same?
Me and my father had a tough.
Okay, let's hear this. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think, at that time, that's when I felt like you were just saying now, where you do all of this and you're not getting sort of rewarded for it. And at the time, I was like, I told Jose, I said, Jose, I've got 1 year left on my contract. I don't like to wait till the last 6 months. I like to get my things done so I know what's going to happen. And I said to him, my family wants to move back, and if I don't sort of get what I want, I'm probably going to do the same. But the problem with SuperSport was I was sort of at they can't go through, the ceiling. I was like, but they were doing it for other people, which sort of, made me a bit upset because I saw people getting new offers, new contracts. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I play all the games. I do quite well. So Jose said, okay, give us a proposal, Brent, and I gave him a proposal. He said it's fair. The club refused. And I still had about a year left. So for the next 6 months, I literally didn't even train. I used to go to training, sit in the grandstand and just watch. And I was like, Coach, I'm going. You need to, either need to release me or at least offer me what I want, because I'm not going to say...
became rebellious.
Yes, I'm not gonna say yes to everything like I used to before. I felt like now I need to be rewarded. Now I need to be valued.
How old are you?
I was 29.
29. Now you know that you've got 5 years to make that back, the last back in your career. And people don't realize that in our age, we only started getting to 100,000 or 220,000 mark when you are at that age.
Late. Very late.
The first 15 years, you're like a slave, like, you're not making that money. Now you're feeling like, no, come on, I deserve better. But now the team is like, now you're old.
They've got like 2 league titles from me. They've got all these other things, know. And even with that, we had a big problem, like with the bonus structure. And I think maybe that's why they didn't sign.
When I know, kind of me, I've been complaining. Yeah.
So we obviously come from the start when we were there, we sort of complained. We were saying that SuperSport was known at the time as a good club financially.
Yeah.
We get paid well and things like that, So we coming from Sundowns where if you win today, in the next 12 hours, not even 12 hours.
Midnight at clock.
Your bonus is in.
Yeah.
There's no like wait till the end of the month.
How did that make you feel?
Nah, it was upsetting because obviously you even look at some of the guys that have maybe played 1 or 2 games, even 3 games. They've also contributed. And what happened was we had to wait till the following season at SuperSport. So the first time I can't get to SuperSport, we win the league. I'm thinking, okay, during the holidays or off-season, the money might come in. I can take, I can do something.
Yeah.
They tell us, look, wait for next season. So we come back the following season. Some players are not with the team anymore. They're not getting anything. And you find out this guy played 3 games, 4 games. He scored maybe even a goal. But because he's not there for the new season, he's not going to get his bonus.
That's not right.
The other thing we asked was, me and Kanamoyo obviously asked, so coach, get up again.
With a 50% each.
Yeah, because apparently he was getting 10%.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
That's a norm. That's a norm. Out of the 50% is a club.
Yeah,
so
50%,
out of your 50%.
Yeah, so we just asked from what 50% is it coming?
Yeah.
Huh? But you guys from Sundowns, what? We said no. But if it's 50% for the players, then it must be 50% for the players.
Yes.
The technical team and everybody else must negotiate with the club. So we didn't, obviously it was on our 50. So our amount already became reduced. Then there was something about how many games you played and all this. I was like, hey, brah. But you're there every day, training, working every day. Yes, maybe you don't get picked to play on the weekend, but there's the coach's decision. But you're there to at least help the team.
You're training up, first 11 days, you're training them. You are there.
You are sparring partner.
Yeah, they used to say that, like the ones that are sitting on the bench. You guys are training the guys that do well because you helping the guys that are playing.
Yeah.
To get ready for the game type of thing. But I don't get it. Like, the community in South Africa, the football community in South Africa is not there to build us, bro. Like, I've always felt like that. You know what I mean? But, shout out to, like, the Motsepe family. Yeah. They just doing, like, great stuff. And I hope they're still doing that since we left. I don't know how is the bonus system, like, going there.
I don't think it's that high.
Bayikhathile. Ngizwa bathi amanye ama coach bafihlile after Rona, they were like, you spoiling these boys.
Yeah.
Stop this. Ungena because I say malako. As a coach, I don't get it, bro.
I think that's coaches shouldn't get involved there.
I'm going to getting your salary when.
Because you like in Europe, I know there's players that sign their contract. It's in their contract with the club that look, if I score 15 goals this season, this is how much I'm getting.
Yeah.
So as a coach, you can't say no. That can't work because now this guy's gonna be greedy. He wants to make that mark so he can get that money. Nah. I think also the people you have, the personalities you have in your team will sort of guide that. I think with us, we all obviously we wanted one thing is to win, so we can sort of make some more money.
But ngakutshela mina as a player, if I'm a coach like ibaba la ngafika bazokuguy 5 million. As for 10, bazokuguy 10. You know what I mean? I'll be the coach, you know what I mean? Intwana totally. Because I want you to be okay. I'll tell you. When you're okay, I'm okay. I know you're gonna give me 100%. I think that's why God didn't make me to be a coach because I bezo bankrupt me. Bezo bankrupt the team. Bezo clearly mali more. Bazo 50,000 we're not to 100.
No, we were encouraged, we were encouraged to feel like like top players and whatever you deserve as a top player, you try and give you.
20-year career, Antoine. It's 15 years or 20. I'll say 20. Any regrets?
A lot of people say they have no regrets. I think I do.
Let's hear them. And I like to tell like, it's gone, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Those regrets will help the young ones that are coming up so they don't make the same mistakes that we did.
I think, like I said, I didn't value myself as much as I should have, I think. So I think I could have gotten more out of the game in terms of financially, one. Because I remember, look, when we started, SABC used to show one game on a weekend.
Yeah.
And then, the TV came. But that's because people wanted to watch us. They wanted to see us.
Yeah.
Even at the stadiums always used to be full.
Yeah.
So I think I could have been better. Sort of, not necessarily advised, but I could have taken my career upon myself instead of asking an agent or somebody else, I could have done it myself.
You think you could have done a better job?
Yeah, I would have done a better job. When I saw my my agent's fee, his manager's fee from the account at Sundowns.
Did you know about the manager's fee? Plus he took your 10%.
Luckily with me, he had to negotiate with the club. So on my side, nothing. But he was getting more than me per annum. So I was like, how does that work? How can
crazy, bro?
You be getting more than me.
You work for me, but it seems like I'm working for you. Yeah. It's just crazy how these agents be working, bro.
So over the year, he would earn. Obviously, I would earn more than him in terms of my bonuses and all the other extra stuff. But in general, just the standard, he was getting more than me. And
so the 5-year contract, you have supposed to be getting 8 million rands.
Yeah. And now, like you say, today's players, they take from there, sort of.
Yeah, the 5% and the 10%.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So I think I could have done that myself. That's one of the regrets. And then some clubs you join, it's just. Then you just realize, you made a huge mistake.
Talking about cheaper.
Yeah. That
was. Everybody's complaining about how was that experience, bro? Like cheaper.
Oh, it was. Look, when I got there, it was still fairly new because it was their first season in PSL.
Yeah.
So, and he was excited. Yeah. He wanted to get. I think Ajax at the time, and I said this to John's brother. What's his name now? George.
Yeah.
I said to George, you're making a huge mistake, letting me go. Keep me, because I still had 2 years left, I think, on my contract. So keep me. I'm not going to go anywhere. But Brent, the coach at the time was Stecklenburg.
Yeah.
He's also part of the Dutch national team now. It's like, I'm not going to use Brent a lot. And I'm like, you're making a mistake. I'm telling you, you're making a mistake.
You could feel that you could still give them something.
That very same season, we were both fighting for relegation. And what happened in the game I played against Ajax, I killed him. And I said to George, you're making a mistake. This coach, okay, he comes from the youth. But you also can't come with all the youth players. He promoted about 7 players and he wanted them to play all immediately. So myself, Hans, we were like, you're making a mistake. Hans actually retired that season. He was like, I'm not taking this.
This is nonsense. That's how they got relegated.
Yes. So that's where everybody else before that would mix it up, experience youngsters.
So you got nothing against youth. But you say
No.
do it right.
Yes, do it right. And this is a team that's just lost the league. We've just come second. And as football left, and then they obviously promoted him. I think he promoted Travis Graham, all that group of players, all of those players, good players, but not ready yet to go and compete for the league.
For 1 game, yes. 2 games, yes.
Yeah.
You put them out and you need the experience, and like, the last 50 minutes you put them in, just and whatever. So they aggressively did that, which like backfired.
Look, it's happened now the past few seasons as well at Cape Town Spurs. They've got good youngsters, but sometimes they're not good for the PSL or the professional ranks. You need to take it easy with them.
Brent, it's been a pleasure, Antoine, having you in studio. Missed you, boy. It's been 20. I know I saw you in Cape Town when we did like the MTN 8 campaign. Was Spanish say one, and next year I won on your mates. They took you out. They had to every time Basape about and whatever. But it's been great sharing your stories with you, with us. And I hope the guys at home will be enjoying this and fit to keep on pushing and building those boys.
Yeah.
Obviously we don't want them to only be like better sports people, but better human beings as well. Yeah. That as a coach, you are there also as a father figure and whatever, and keep on doing what you're doing.
Nah, bro, it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. No, thanks for the invite.
Let's see. And thank you to all our loyal supporters at home, all our loyal listeners at home. You can find us on YouTube, you can find us on Spotify, you can also find us on mtnfc.co, mtnfc.co.za, where you can win yourself some few prizes, jerseys, whatever. There might be a bit of questions there that you might like, and a bit of information out there. As we said, it's the last episode of season 3, but we're not down and out. We're going to be back in July. It's off season now. As much as the players need a break, we also need a break. But this show wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for MTN FC. Shout out to MTN FC for making this happen for us and making it possible for us. We out, Buffett. We love you. See you guys in July. We out.